Welcome to Media Melanie TV. Today I'm back to talk about Wayward on Netflix. This is a brand new 8-episode miniseries. But the thing is, with all these miniseries, limited series, a lot of streamers actually gauge the success and viewership and oftentimes will bring it back for another season or turn it into an anthology. That is not anything confirmed for Wayward, at least yet, but I never put that out of the realm. And that said, this is 8 episodes. Netflix is a binge streamer. This just came out the other day, and if you're like me, you're busy, you've got kids, whatever, life, it's really hard to carve out the time to binge an entire series. So, that said, I am about halfway through at this point. So in today's video, I'm going to share why you should definitely be putting this show on your watch list, especially right now during spooky season. It's dark, it's creepy, and if you like shows such as Twin Peaks, Yellow Jackets, even School Spirits, Stranger Things, and a more recent show, The Institute on MGM+, you're probably going to like this show. It's definitely giving the young adult, teen sort of vibes here. And the premise: a sinister town explores the insidious intricacies of the troubled teen industry and the eternal struggle of the next generation. Essentially, we've got a creepy town called Tall Pines, and no, this is actually not related to the former show Wayward Pines. And there is a school here, Tall Pines Academy. We meet a couple of characters who are going to a regular high school. I wouldn't say they're necessarily super disturbed, but yeah, I mean, they've got some issues going on here. This is one of those places where parents sign up basically to have their child kidnapped and brought into this place. So we explore the story of a couple characters who are here at this school. We meet a lot of the other characters in the school itself. By the way, one of them is a cast crossover from Gen V. I'm also covering that show right now, so don't miss my coverage on that. But Wayward, it was created by maemartin, who's a Canadian actor and comedian. And they play a police officer who moves to this town with their wife, Laura. And it turns out that Laura was actually a part of the school. She was a student there and attended there. And they run into a situation early on where something sparks curiosity within Alex, who is the police officer who moves to this town, played by maemartin. And he's like, hey, something is most definitely wrong here, and starts looking into the school. We have Toni Collette, who plays Evelyn, the head of this school. And by the way, Toni Collette, if you like her in this show, do not sleep on an older series called The United States of Tara. She plays a woman named Tara. She's got a family, and she has dissociative identity disorder. And while that sounds like something very serious, and it is, the show is actually a comedy. It is quite funny. So if you're looking for something to watch that maybe you've never even heard of, give that one a look, especially if you enjoy Toni Collette here. And I've got to say, she has been a real bright spot. She's almost giving Nicole Kidman vibes from 9 Perfect Strangers. I actually only watched season 1 of that show. Season 2 I've heard wasn't great, so I didn't really get into it. But it feels like the school has something bigger going on. Same with the town. Is it a cult? What are they doing to these children? I've got a lot of questions here. And like I said, I'm only halfway through, so I will end up coming back sharing my final thoughts once I do finish it. And if you've already watched it, please don't drop any spoilers down in the comments, but definitely let me know what you think. All right, before I get more into this review of Wayward, please go ahead, like this video, and subscribe to my channel. I'm covering some other shows right now, including Only Murders in the Building, Gen V, and yes, there is the cast crossover there, and also Task on HBO, which is very, very dark. I appreciate everybody who watches my videos, partakes in my TV talk. I'm on a journey to become a full-time TV content creator. Recently hit 5,000 subscribers, which was something I never expected hitting so early. So my next goal is to hit 10,000 on my journey to become a full-time TV content creator. So thanks to everybody here. And again, please do subscribe if you haven't already. All right, getting back into this show, we see inside of this school, and there are definitely some disturbing things going on here. Some of the terms that we hear in this show: there is booty juice, which is something that they inject into the booty, which is obviously some kind of sedative. There's proper hugging by Evelyn, who is the headmaster. There is code neutral. There is you assent, you are dirt, you are a burrow. There's all these weird terms, and the structure of the school, it's not like they're necessarily torturing the kids or running weird experiments on them like in the Institute, but the bigger picture here, it seems like they are somehow indoctrinating these kids into a cult or something, and the town itself is obviously tied into it. So is the entire town a cult? Is this school just a funnel to get these kids into functioning town members? If they're so disturbed, I mean, do they end up going back to their parents or not? I definitely have a lot of questions, but what I've enjoyed so far is the pacing, the mystery. They're giving us a lot of content here to start really asking ourselves questions like, how is this going to end? Are the two characters that we've been tracking mostly who are inside of Tall Pines Academy, are they going to make it out alive? Are they going to be able to uncover whatever sinister things are going on here? With the police involvement of Alex, again played by maemartin, obviously something is going to come to light, but unfortunately it seems like the whole town is in on the situation. The police, the residents, even Alex's wife, Laura, is somehow tied into all of this. She did attend that school, but what does that exactly mean? This is all to be determined. This is a big part of the mystery here. And what's really interesting is that maemartin actually had a friend who was sent away to one of these schools who came back sharing all these crazy stories about illegal things that they're doing, the way the kids are treated. I find that interesting, and it sounds like they've actually been researching this whole situation for years. And from what I've seen so far, the show is really doing a great job of slowly unpacking whatever this sinister mystery is while exploring this disturbed teen industry. And I've got mixed feelings about that as a whole. Okay, yes, a lot of teenagers, they get themselves in trouble, things happen. But to go as far as to have your own child actually kidnapped, brought to a place that essentially becomes the child's guardian, that's putting a whole lot of trust in the hands of an institution that may or may not be completely evil or a cult or whatever it ends up being. I'm just going to say, I love my children. I would never do this to them. They would have to be so far off the rails to make the decision to send them to a place like this. But at the same time, being a parent is hard. Teenagers can be difficult. And sometimes they probably feel like there's just no other options. And maybe it is better to send them to a place like this than let them, I don't know, go on the streets or continue using drugs or whatever the problem is. So drop in the comments. Let me know what you think. And if anybody watching has actually had experience at one of these places or has had a friend or family member there, I would love to know if you have any stories or things that might have happened. I mean, do they even make these type of schools that are normal where strange and illegal things don't happen? I feel like a lot of times these institutions are covered under the law or there is some kind of cover up in the town. We saw that a lot in The Institute. And again, not as popular of a show. It's on MGM Plus, but it really has a lot of similarities to what they're doing here in Wayward. Well, in The Institute, the kids have supernatural abilities. Here, I guess the abilities are the ability for these kids to be troublemakers. But the thing with The Institute is the entire town is in on it, and that definitely seems to be what's going on here. Now, for fans of the show From, which is also on MGM Plus, I've heard that the man in yellow is actually in the show. He's played by Douglas E. Hughes. However, I did not see him listed on IMDb, but I actually can't confirm that. I'm not to the end of episode 4 yet, so I haven't watched the credits. If anybody does know for sure that he's in the show, awesome, let me know down below. Just also got to say, if you have not watched From, you've got to get on it. It is on MGM Plus. It is super creepy. There are 3 seasons, twists and turns, one of those shows that you want to keep rewatching to figure out what is going on with the whole mind F of it all. And if you do get MGM Plus, you can also watch The Institute, which I've referenced. So if you do end up loving this show, Wayward, and like I said, I'm enjoying it so far, you definitely should watch The Institute next. And that does star Mary Louise Parker as well, and also Robert Joy, who is in the show From. So everything is tied together. Another thing I love about the show is the queer representation and how much it is fully embraced. I love the way that they are weaving it into the story in a way that feels authentic, and representation is awesome. Another part of this show that has just been exceptional, the music. Let me read a few of the songs that have appeared in the episodes that I've watched so far. All right, episode 1 starts strong with Time by Pink Floyd. Then we have Say It Ain't So by Weezer, Get Free by The Vines, Freebird by Lynyrd Skynyrd, and Don't Fear the Reaper by Blue Oyster Cult. We've also, in episode 2, got Dear Prudence by the Leslie West Band, and by the way, the version of that song is just 10 out of 10. Is Anybody Home? Our Lady Peace. Love Our Lady Peace. Hurdy-Gurdy Man by Donovan. Riot by Hugh Masekela. And Perfect Day by Al Green. I'm a sucker for Al Green as well. Episode 3, Just Dropped In by Kenny Rogers in the first edition. Tiger the Lion by Tragically Hip. And episode 4, Bad and Ruin by Faces. And Origin Orphan, The Hidden Cameras. There's a whole list of amazing needle drops moving forward through the rest of the episodes, but what I appreciate most, I love needle drops in general. I think when they're placed perfectly, it can really contribute to a scene and its meaning deeper to what we're watching. Love the music supervisors on TV shows, but this one actually mixes older and newer songs, and it does so in a very authentic way. And what I also love is our two main characters, Abbie and Leila. They are girls who like the Beatles. They are into old school stuff. I love it when today's teenagers have an appreciation for classic music and older things and aren't just all caught up on YouTube all day like, I don't know, my children. And yes, I do limit their screen time, but man, there's something to be said about young people who appreciate classic rock and old media. I'm just so here for that. But overall, I've just got to say, halfway through the show, it got me. It really actually got me from the jump. I loved episode 1. And like I said, it's just a matter of time until I finish it. But I'm also kind of savoring each episode a little bit. I don't like it when I love a show so much, then I binge it and it's over. And if this does in fact stay a limited series, we're not getting any more. And I've just got to say, Toni Collette, maemartin, this entire cast is really coming together to bring this entire vision to life. It has definitely delved very deep into this disturbing teen industry and this creepy town of Tall Pines. I'm so excited to see exactly what the bigger picture is here, how the season ends. I've still got 4 episodes to go. And again, if you've already watched, please don't drop any spoilers down below. But definitely do let me know how you are feeling so far. How many episodes have you watched? Are you in? Are you out? I always like to take the temperature of the audience as well. So please drop it down in the comments. All right, well, that is essentially my feelings on Wayward so far. I'm in, I like it, I enjoy it, I'm here to recommend it and tell you to definitely put it on your watch list as well. And hey, if you've got Netflix, if you're looking for another show, I've also been enjoying Black Rabbit with Jason Bateman and Jude Law, albeit Jude Law does not necessarily look like he used to look like, but hey, we all age, I get it. But Jason Bateman's got a beard and long hair, so here for his vibe. I'm talking about other TV shows right now, and if you like dark shows like this, definitely hit that subscribe button because I'm going to be covering the Talamasca, Welcome to Derry. I'm also going to try to get a review up on Monster, the Ed Gein story coming to Netflix on October 3rd. It stars Charlie Hunnam, and let me just tell you, he, at least to me, is one of the worst serial killers out there. I'm a big fan of true crime, and if you want to get acquainted with Ed Gein as a serial killer, I recommend listening to a Morbid podcast. They actually have a 3-parter on Ed Gein, which is where I was really first introduced to him and how incredibly disturbing he is. I was not able to get through Monster, the Jeffrey Dahmer season. I didn't watch Lyle and Eric Menendez. I do fear that this Ed Gein story is going to be so graphic. I don't know if I'm actually going to be able to finish it or not, but I am so here for all the dark, the true crime, and I hope you stick with me for more TV talk. I will be back again soon. Media Melanie, clicking off.